Imagine a world where every single nation on Earth is drowning in trillions of dollars of debt. The United States alone owes more than $35 trillion, enough to buy every company in the S&P 500 10 times over. China, Japan, the UK, no one escapes. But here's the question that should stop you cold. If every country is in debt, who exactly are they all in debt to? Is it a secret club of trillionaires hiding in Swiss vaults? Aliens? Or something far more ordinary and far more dangerous? Today, we're solving the mystery of who really owns the world's debt and why the answer has triggered financial catastrophes for the last 500 years. Stay until the end, because the final twist changes everything you thought you knew about money itself. To understand how we got here, we have to go back to 1944. World War II is still raging, but 44 nations secretly meet in a New Hampshire hotel called Bretton Woods. Two men dominate the room, Britain's John Maynard Keynes and America's Harry Dexter White. Their mission isn't just to end the war. It's to design a brand new global money system that will prevent another Great Depression. They create the IMF, the World Bank, and peg every currency to the US dollar, which is backed by gold. For the first time in history, one country, the United States, becomes the world's creditor. Europe is in ruins, so America lends billions through the Marshall Plan. The message is clear: borrow from us, rebuild, and stay in our orbit. But here's the first clue in our mystery. The system they built was never designed to handle what came next. Fast forward to August 15, 1971. President Richard Nixon appears on television and drops a bombshell. The United States is closing the gold window. Overnight, the dollar is no longer convertible to gold. Money is now backed only by trusts in governments. 2 years later, the 1973 oil embargo sends crude prices through the roof. OPEC nations are suddenly swimming in cash. Petrodollars. Western banks, desperate to put that money to work, start lending aggressively to any developing country that wants a loan. Latin America, Africa, Eastern Europe, they all line up. By 1982, Mexico alone owes $80 billion. Interest rates are low. The party feels endless, until it isn't. That same year, Federal Reserve Chairman Paul Volcker cranks U.S. interest rates to almost 20% to crush inflation. Suddenly, every dollar-denominated loan on Earth becomes twice as expensive to service. In August 1982, Mexico's finance minister picks up the phone and tells the United States, "We're broke." Within weeks, Brazil, Argentina, and a dozen others follow. The Latin American debt crisis explodes. Global banks teeter on collapse. The IMF rides in with emergency loans, but only if countries agree to brutal austerity. Fire public workers, slash subsidies, sell state companies. A decade of growth vanishes overnight. Argentina's inflation hits 5,000%. Riots tear through capitals. This is what a sovereign debt crisis actually looks like on the ground. The 1980s fixes, the Baker Plan, the Brady Plan, mostly rescue the banks, not the countries. Debts are restructured, partially forgiven, but the scar tissue remains, and the pattern repeats. 1997, hot money floods into East Asia. Thailand runs out of dollars to defend its currency and lets the baht float. It crashes 50% in weeks. Indonesia, South Korea, and Malaysia, contagion spreads like wildfire. The IMF arrives again, demanding the same medicine. Raise rates, cut spending. South Korea's unemployment triples. Indonesia's president is forced to resign amid riots. Russia defaults in 1998, nearly sinking the hedge fund long-term capital management, and, with it, Wall Street. Then 2008 happens. The subprime bubble bursts. Banks fail. Governments borrow trillions to bail them out. Public debt surges. By 2010, Greece admits its books were cooked. Its debt-to-GDP ratio is heading toward 180%. The Troika, IMF, European Central Bank, European Commission, imposes the harshest austerity in modern history. Greece's economy shrinks by a quarter. Youth unemployment tops 60%. Suicide rates spike. The crisis spreads to Ireland, Portugal, Spain, Italy. The euro itself almost fractures. And now, in 2025, here we are again, only bigger. Global public debt has just hit $111 trillion. That's more than 235% of world GDP. The United States and China together account for over half of it. 60% of low-income countries are now in or at high risk of debt distress. Interest payments alone are crushing budgets that used to fund schools and hospitals. So back to our original question. If every nation owes trillions, who is on the other side of the trade? Who owns all this debt? The answer is both simple and terrifying. About a third is held by foreign governments. Japan owns $1.3 trillion of U.S. debt, China about $800 billion. Another huge chunk is owned by your own central bank. Through quantitative easing, the Federal Reserve, the ECB, the Bank of Japan, they bought trillions of their own government's bonds with freshly printed money. Pension funds, insurance companies, mutual funds, and everyday savers own the rest through bond funds and retirement accounts. In other words, we mostly owe the money to ourselves and to our future selves. The debt is a claim on tomorrow's taxes, tomorrow's growth, tomorrow's productivity. When growth slows or trust cracks, the entire pyramid wobbles. That's why these crises keep repeating. The system only works as long as everyone believes tomorrow will be richer than today. The moment that belief falters, the rush for the exits begins. So here are the 3 takeaways you need to remember. 1. Sovereign debt isn't owed to some hidden overlord. It's a promise we made to ourselves across time. And that promise only holds if we keep growing faster than the interest. 2. Every major debt crisis in the last 50 years followed the same script. Easy money in good times, sudden stop when rates rise or confidence dips, then painful austerity or default. We are not immune just because the numbers are bigger now. 3. The real owners of the debt are the citizens who will pay it back, either through higher taxes, inflated away savings, or collapsed public services. Power doesn't sit with the borrower. It sits with whoever can say no when the bill comes due. The warning is this. With aging population, climate costs, and slowing growth in much of the developed world, the room to keep rolling over these promises is shrinking fast. The next crisis won't look exactly like 1982 or 2008 or 2020. It will be larger, and the traditional escape hatches may be closed. The question is no longer who owns the debt. The question is, when the music stops again, who will be left holding the bag? If this video made you rethink everything you thought you knew about money and power, do 3 things right now. Hit the like button so this reaches more people. Subscribe and ring the bell because we expose hidden economic truths every week. And comment below with the one debt fact that shocked you most. Let's get a real conversation going. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and I'll see you in the next one.